Hey guys, welcome to Chaos Unfiltered. I'm your host, Abby, and I'm so excited to start this podcast with you guys. This is my very first podcast, so I'm super excited to see where this road takes me and what we talk about throughout each podcast. Because honestly, I'll have a topic, but all topics won't relate to each other, so we'll just see what I feel like talking about for the podcast episode, to be honest. With that being said, we're going to dive right into the deep end and we're going to talk about breakups. I am actively going through a breakup, so this is pretty relatable to me right now, and it's why I wanted to talk about it. Talk about my feelings, maybe help some other people if you're going through breakups, because I feel like that's all I'm seeing on social media right now is people going through breakups, and that's probably because, I'm going through one, I'm watching all the videos about breakups, so it's sending me all of these breakup things, like, oh, you can get them back, how to get them back, all of that annoying shit. But regardless, breakups. Breakups are hard, no matter if you initiated the breakup, if they initiated the breakup, if you guys were together for years, if you guys were together for a few weeks. Breakups are hard. You put your time, your effort into this person, and it just ends, That's hard. And, there's usually some reasons why it ends, right? But still, it ends, and for the most part, you maybe didn't want it to happen. Maybe you did. Who knows, right? But breakups are hard. For me, in the past, when I've broken up with people, I am emotionally numb by the time I break up with individuals. That meaning, for me, I have no emotions towards this person anymore. I could care less. I'm probably thinking about joining dating apps again, which that can be a whole nother topic, is dating apps. I hate dating app guys. I haven't been on one in over a year, but I remember they suck. And I could go on a whole tangent about how much dating apps suck, but I'm not going to right now. Anyways, I'm emotionally numb by the point I break up with people, and that's probably not the healthiest because I'm kind of leading them on maybe. I've probably been out of this relationship for a month or two, and they're probably still attached, and I'm like, I could care less, so I should do it sooner. You live and you learn, and that's one thing I think about all breakups, all relationships, is that it's not a waste of time. You grow as a person, you experience things, you learn how to be better in a relationship. You live and you learn, right? And that is what life is. Everyone is experiencing life for the first time. Don't forget that, guys. Your parents are also doing life for the first time. So everybody makes mistakes, and that's okay. I remember some of my breakups, I broke up with someone via text message. Here's my first piece of advice. Don't break up with people via text message. Anyways, I did it. I was 19. I was in my college dorm. My friend's in the corner grading his love letter he sent me with his punctuation errors and his spelling errors, all of that. We ended up burning that love letter in the tub. Put a burn hole in the tub. Another piece of advice. Don't burn things in a tub. But I was young, I was stupid, and I did it, right? The second relationship was not a healthier breakup, but we did do it in person, but it was hard. I was with him for a decent amount of time. We lived together. So I think that was also what made the breakup even harder. In that relationship especially, I felt like I wasted my time. I felt like I had put so much effort and I shouldn't have, and my timeline's all wrong, and that's something I'm really trying to work on, guys. And I don't know if other people do this, but I'm a timeline person. I'm like, by 25 I want to be engaged, by 29 I want to have a kid. But I put numbers on everything, and I just made those numbers up, obviously, but I am that person, and I am trying really hard to not be that person with relationships, because everybody moves at a different pace for relationships. And I need to really understand that my timeline does not mean that's what my significant other's timeline is going to be. That is honestly one of the big reasons I think why me and my ex broke up, and I really wish I wouldn't have done that to him. And I didn't mean to, and I didn't mean to do it with ill intent. I just had so much love, and I fall so quickly, and I fell so quickly for him. But, sometimes people don't move as fast as you, and that's okay. And I never faulted him for not moving as fast as me, because I know I fell for him hard. I fell for him fast. All of his friends could see that, right? Like, he starts talking and it's just like the heart eye emoji is me, honestly. Like, I care for that man so deeply. And yes, I said care, not cared, because I still do care for him so deeply. Anyways, second breakup, pretty tough. Third breakup, another piece of advice, don't break up with people via Snapchat videos. That's how I did my third breakup. I will say that was not my intent. He just worked third shift that night, and I had forgotten when I asked to meet up. He knew I was going to break up with him, so he was like, just do it. And I was like, okay, here we go. I really don't want to do this, but I'll do it. So that sucked. And if you're listening to this, I am so sorry I broke up with you on Snapchat. That one was a pretty okay breakup, though. We weren't together for long, so like, I don't think we were both super emotionally attached, you know? I don't know. Now, let's talk about the last relationship. He broke up with me, and I think that's also part of the reason why it's really tough for me, because I wasn't ready to give up fighting, right? I'm still not ready to give up fighting. If that man texted me and told me, let's give it one more shot, I am doing everything I can, okay? But the last breakup was tough. It's still fresh. It's 2 weeks from today when I'm recording this podcast, so it's really new and it's still really hard. And I think one of the toughest things is that he's not a bad guy, right? Like, sometimes you get in a relationship with someone, they're great, they're awesome, but you guys just don't work out together, and I think those are the worst types of breakups. Like, I would rather hate your guts and break up than to have all this love for you and all this care for you still, and we just don't work out, right? Like, that's so tough to think about. At least for me, it is. I will say something I've thought about is like breakups feel a lot like death, right? In a way of they're gone, you can't talk to them anymore, there's no contact, all of that stuff. And for me, I think breakups are worse than death because you could have contact. You could see that person. That person is still out there living their life. But you guys broke up and they were this big part of your world for however many months, years, and they're just gone. Like, that's something that's so hard for me. And it's been hard recently. Like, the first 3 days after this breakup, I was so emotional. I was so upset and devastated. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I didn't want anybody. I wanted him. I wanted to talk to him. I wanted comfort from him. But I couldn't get it, right? Because he was the one I was going through the breakup with him. So I couldn't rely on him. I couldn't reach out to him. Trust me, I did. I reached out to him. Everyone that says no contact, fuck you. Okay? Because honestly, contact them. Don't be crazy and obsessive, like all of that stuff. But if you want to contact them, do that. You do have free will. You can do that. Now, will they block you? Maybe. I will say I'm grateful that my ex hasn't done that. That he has at least let the text messages come through. I don't know if he reads them. I don't know any of that. But he lets me get my emotions out there. And something that's been tough for me also is just how the breakup happened, how it went down, and just why I didn't fight hard enough, right? I think that's going to be my biggest regret in this breakup is that I should have fought harder than what I did. For me, I had a lot of health stuff going on that I didn't know about until after the breakup. And it almost feels like an excuse to be like, oh, I was acting this way because of my health problems. And I mean, when you do the research, like, yeah, my health problems did cause fatigue. They caused mood swings. They caused all of this stuff. Is it an excuse for the way I acted? Absolutely not. I will own up that I was a shitty girlfriend by the end of that relationship. And I hate that I did that to him. Because he didn't deserve that at all. And I think also I have that what if of like, what if I would have realized my health problems before? Would that have changed us? Would we still be together right now? I don't know, right? What if I would have put in more effort even with my health problems? Would that have changed shit? Maybe. Or maybe it would have just prolonged the inevitable. I don't know. Because we did have our situations of like compatibility, right? Everybody has those talks of like, are we going to be compatible long term? And I think compatibility is important, yes, but no one's going to be 100% compatible in a relationship. I think you work on that. You make compromises. You see the other person's point of view, and you work with each other. And that was something I will say, I wouldn't compromise much. I would, but I wouldn't. And I think there are times to compromise and there are times to not, right? Like, sometimes you need to stand on what you believe, how you stand, and they should not be able to change that. But, like, for certain things, like my timeline situation, like, I could have changed that. I don't need you to know you need to propose to me within a year or two. Like, if it takes you longer, it takes you longer. I could have changed that. But I didn't. And why didn't I? Because it's, looking back on it, it's not that fucking deep. And that's something I want to take into my next relationship, whether it's with him, whether it's with someone else, whenever it is, right? Because I'm not ready to be in a relationship right now with anybody else. It's not that fucking deep. I think for me, I should have enjoyed the time when it was us, right? Like, I look towards the future so much, and I want kids so badly and all of this, but then I forget to live in the moment and live with that person. And I wasn't enjoying our times together because I was stressing over the future, and I shouldn't have done that. And I wish I wouldn't have done that. Because honestly, we probably would have been way better off if I wouldn't have done that. But it is what it is. I also think what sucks about fucking breakups is, why do you just start to hate certain things, right? Like, I hate a car because that's what he drove. I hate up north because he lives up north, and anytime I go up north, I think about him, and I think about, I could just drive to his apartment right now. I hate my fucking GPS that keeps telling me to go to his apartment, because fuck that. I know where he lives, and I wish I could drive up there and be with him. Stop reminding me that I can't do that, right? I hate the hairstyle I'm wearing right now. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry you can't see it, but he loved space buns. That was his favorite hairstyle on me, and I have not been able to wear them for like 2 weeks because it makes me think of him. I'm still thinking about him when I'm wearing these, but I was like, I love my space buns. I need to do it. And it's a happy thought about him, right? Like, I started therapy because of this breakup and to just help myself be okay with being alone, because that's something I do struggle with, is being alone. So I'm trying to learn how to be alone, and I'm trying to learn how to navigate this life, kind of. And one thing my therapist did tell me was that I needed to get a routine, right? I needed to get back on track. I told her how I used to go to the gym a lot and I haven't been up to it. And she was like, no, you need to get back in the gym and you need to do it. And I was like, I get it. I'm trying, but it's hard because, I'm also not eating. So going to the gym when you're not eating also isn't the best, but it is what it is. She was like, you need to get yourself in a routine. Go to work, go to the gym, do this. And that has been helping me a lot. I will say, first 3 days to a week, really tough for me. This past week, I've been doing a little bit better. There are definitely still times where I am heartbroken, sad, I will cry. But I'm doing better. And I will say also, I said it earlier, no contact fucking sucks. For me, I found comfort in kind of looking at our old pictures together and listening to videos of him and hearing his voice. And I talked to my therapist about that because I was like, I don't think that's really healthy. Like, I need to be okay with him being gone. And she goes, it's still new. It's okay to listen to his voice, to look at the old pictures. If it's bringing you comfort and it's not making you more upset. And that's something that really helped me. Because the first few days, I would listen to videos of him to help me sleep because his voice was so calming and reassuring to me. Because I wasn't willing to ask my parents or my friends for help over that. I did eventually ask for help, and my dad would come over and he would stay with me until I went to sleep because I couldn't sleep alone. Like I just felt so alone. And I love being alone. Like I'm okay with being alone, but I think I was okay with being alone because I had a person. He was always there when I needed him. He was my second half. He was everything to me. I have so much love for him. I care for him so much. He was goofy. He brought out a side of me that I really hadn't been able to show any other guy in my life in like a relationship standpoint. So that made things even harder, right? And I had just lost him. And I had no idea what to do without him. Like sleeping alone when we weren't together was fine because I knew at some point I would see him again. But once we broke up, I wasn't going to see him again, right? Like I would think about all those things, like our last hug, the last time we kissed. And for him too, he was my first for a lot. We did a lot of firsts together. He brought me out of my comfort zone, all of that. And I have so much appreciation for that. But with him being my first, in my head where I wanted us to go, because I don't date for fun, I date to marry. So did he. I wanted him to be my last. I wanted him to be my first and my last on those things. And it sucks to think about still now. And I'm happy I can talk about it without crying because I couldn't a week ago. It sucks that he's not going to be my last. At least that's where I'm at right now. You never know. People say if it's meant to be, it'll be. I think that's bullshit, to be honest. I think if you want it to be, you will fight for it, and you both need to fight for it, right? Nothing's going to drop in your hands. Nothing's just going to fall from the sky and you're going to get everything you want. I'm sorry, that's just not how life works. You have to be able to fight. You both need to fight for that relationship if that's what you want in your life. And I think that's very important. And that's something that I didn't do, right? I stopped fighting for us and I should have kept fighting while he was still fighting. And then I decided to fight when it was too late. And I have blamed my health on that a little bit, and I hope down the road, maybe he'll see the changes. We can talk, we can be friends, or I don't know, and we can come back together and be better for each other. But again, it's still so new that I'm like, is that what we need? I don't know, right? We both have a lot going on in our lives now. I'm trying to put a lot of effort into me, my health, things I want to do. I'm really big into social media. That's why I'm starting this podcast. I'm starting to be more active on social media, talk about things that I usually wouldn't talk about, such as breakups. I'm a very open book, but talking to strangers and having other people that I don't know into my life is terrifying. So that's something I'm doing to help myself with this breakup. Is just putting myself out there so I can be better for the next person. And better for myself. Because that's something that I also need to look at is like, you are a priority. Don't do it for someone else. Do it for you. And that's why, like, I have texted him. I have done other things, you know? Like, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for us because I want us to be together. But I'm doing it for me, too, because that's how I truly feel in my heart. But again, the breakup's new. It's only been 2 weeks. Talk to me in a month, 3 months, 6 months. Maybe my opinions have changed. Maybe I'm like, oh no, this was not the end all be all. Because that's something I've also been talking to myself is just like, remember those like other relationships you had that you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to find anybody else. This is the worst thing ever. What did you do? You found somebody else. Breakups seem hard in the moment, yes. And it might take you a really long time to get over it. But your person is out there. The one you're supposed to be with is out there. Everything is going to work out at some point. Don't put a timeline on it. And your life is going to end up being great as long as you put yourself in the situation where it can be great. And I just feel like it's important to think about those things and think about how breakups right now might feel really hard and heavy in that you just lost your person. But in 6 months, you never know. You might be like, yeah, they were my person and I needed them then, but I don't need them now. Now I know what I do need. Now I know this. And that's how I've usually looked at breakups in relationships in the past. Is I'm like, okay, so what do I need now? And that's where I'm struggling with it. This breakup is that, like, I'm not looking at the negatives of him a lot. I'm looking at the negatives of me a lot. And I'm thinking about how I had fucked up and how I have lost someone, a great guy, a great fucking guy. Whoever ends up with him, if it's not me, you are one lucky girl because he is amazing. But regardless of that, regardless of him, I just want everyone to know breakups are a part of life. They're going to be hard. They're gonna hurt like hell. And reach out to your friends, your family, and get their support. That is one thing I am grateful for, is my friends and my family were really there when I needed them. And I appreciate that because for a while I couldn't be alone. For a while I was on FaceTime with someone all the time because the emptiness is when I hit rock bottom and I started bawling my eyes out and I was like getting my anxiety attacks. Like, and now I'm doing a lot better that I can be alone. I don't need to be on the phone, anything like that. So, and it's only week 2, right? I mean, it's not even week 2. This would be the day of 2 weeks. So, give it time. There's no timeline on when you will feel better. And you know what? I think a big thing is to not try and search for your person. When you're searching for a relationship, you're not going to get the one you want. They come out of nowhere. And that's what happened with him too. He came out of nowhere. And I think that's why it makes it hard, right? Because then I was like, oh, my person, and like all these, whatever. Work on yourself. Work on being a better you. And you know what? That person will find you. The person that you're supposed to be with is going to find you as long as you're putting yourself in those situations. I mean, being a homebody probably isn't going to get you anywhere. Maybe. I don't know. But take the time after a breakup to really self-reflect and be okay with those things that are uncomfortable right now. Being alone, for me, for instance, is something I'm just really going to work on. But just know everything happens for a reason. I am a believer on that. And this breakup that you're going through, if you are going through one, it's going to make you a stronger person in the end. You're going to be better for the next person, better for your ex if that's what's going to happen to you. I'm not going to tell you that you and your ex are not going to get back together. I am going to tell you that make sure that's really what you want, instead of just wanting to get back with your ex because it's easier, because you know them, you're comfortable with them, because the beginning of relationships are always awkward and weird, and like, I can't even pee at their house because they're going to hear me and I can't do that. Like, get over it, okay? Like, don't settle for less and go back to what you don't actually want, okay? But yeah, thanks for listening to Chaos Unfiltered. Very first episode about breakups. I'm sure I'll have another episode about breakups. And I hope you keep tuning in. Thanks, guys.